He's Adam Gorney. I'm Jason Fitz, and it's Rivals National Signing Day coming up tomorrow. Preview a little of the action, and I say action, Adam, because it feels like we are in this weird spot right now where there's still a lot of names out there that could be flipping. There are a lot of programs out there that are trying to figure it all out. It feels like there's chaos opportunities tomorrow.
Always on signing day. It's going to be a lot of hurry up and wait, a lot of prep work, and then tomorrow it all hits the fan. So there'll be a lot of rumors over the next 24 hours. Believe some, don't believe some. Some will be true, some won't. We'll see it all tomorrow morning.
I love the way you said the rumors, though, because I think it's a key to what we're proud of that we're going to do tomorrow. But I will speak. Y'all sit in this space all year round talking to so many people. It's a little like the NFL draft. You have to figure out who can sort through the you-know-what, who can find the fact in it. I mean, it feels like part of the job for you right now is just trying to sort through a bunch of mud to find truth.
Absolutely, and these kids can only pick one school. And 10 are still trying to get a lot of them, and there's a lot of you-know-what going on. And there's a lot of movement late. There's still portal guys that are still making decisions. There are still quarterbacks that are making decisions that could impact receivers. Adding that transfer portal is like recruiting 2.0. It makes this all the more interesting and makes tomorrow all the more wild.
I think about, just peeling behind the curtain, trying to figure out where to order lunch is a challenge, right? Imagine trying to figure out where you're going to start your college football career. And Jeremiah Smith, somebody we'll talk a lot about tomorrow, but I keep thinking about the allure of Ohio State, wide receiver you maybe, versus the allure of staying home. And I think sometimes we make these decisions so much about, as fans, you make the decision about the helmet, the jersey, the campus experience. For these kids, sometimes it's where I want my parents to be able to see me play. I want to be close to grandma. Like, those are all real factors that I have to imagine as you get closer to the deadline start to weigh on people emotionally.
When you take a visit to Ohio State as a junior in high school, you love it and you commit and everything's great. And you love the position coach, Brian Hartline, and he said throughout his recruitment, he's going to stay with Ohio State as long as Brian Hartline's there. Then Miami comes in and might get Cam Ward in the portal. Florida State's been involved. He's been up there a million times. It does become, where do I do my laundry? Do I have to do it myself or can my mom do it? So a lot of those factors weigh in. But Jeremiah Smith's the best high school receiver since Julio Jones. So if he's making $1 million decision here, and it's weighing on him a lot. There's a lot to go into it. A lot of decisions are going to be made in the next 24 hours.
Well, one decision's already been made, and I think my buddy Will Compton has reminded all of Twitter that Nebraska has a quarterback. How does all of that go down?
Not until it's okay. He's done. He's going to Nebraska. It's huge. It's huge. Nebraska needs a lot of help. Dylan Raiola is a massive start to that. He's a 5-star quarterback, the #1 quarterback in the class, was the best quarterback at the Elite 11, had a great senior season at Buford, Georgia, throwing for 34 touchdowns and 1 interception. He immediately becomes a potential starter for Nebraska. A huge win for Matt Rule and that staff.
It's just so interesting because as we sit here right now, we are used to certain powers, right? There are certain programs that just every year win, and they win in recruiting, and they win in the 5 stars, and they win in the playoffs, all of these things. But this year, when you've got someone like Raiola going to Nebraska, it speaks to the fact that the transfer portal and name, image, likeness, and all of these things have changed the way we see college football. This year, the top 10 recruits all look like they're headed to 10 different schools. Like, I would argue, as much as college football fans love to yell the opposite, the health of the game may never have been better than it is right now when it comes to talent actually spreading out.
And everybody was kind of critical of the transfer portal and NIL, and viewership was up this year. So that's also a good sign. Like Dan Wetzel wrote this morning, all 10 are going to 10 different schools. I think you're going to see a little bit more spreading out of that. As the money gets spread, as some schools have a lot more money, and that's going to be a factor in recruiting. We can't hide from that. I think it's going to be important, and it's showing in the rankings.
When all is said and done tomorrow, how do you feel we'll be talking about Harbaugh, Michigan? I just feel like whether it's a controversy or whether it's coach going to, coach my beloved Raiders, whatever it is, Harbaugh's always in the news. How do you think it impacts the recruiting tomorrow?
To be determined, and I mean that like this. I don't think they lose many recruits. I think all those guys are locked in. They haven't had many transfers at all, if any. I just think everyone's waiting to see what the NCAA does with that investigation.
And that's so hard. Like, if you're a kid right now, though, because just follow me here, I'm going to go down the yellow brick road. If you're a kid today, you're not necessarily making the same 4-year decision you were before. Yep. You can afford to take the risk on, like, hey, I want to see how this plays out. I'm going to commit to Michigan. If it doesn't work out, if I don't like the way the NCAA rules, I can enter the transfer portal. Like, these are the moments where kids having a little bit more ownership in what they can do allows them to make a decision for now that doesn't have to be for the rest of their life, right?
And tomorrow is signing day, but there will still be many kids that don't sign. One of them will be a kid named Gatlin Bear in Burley, Idaho, 4-star wide receiver, the fastest kid in the country. He's waiting on to see what happens to Michigan.
Wait. Gatlin Bear from Burley, Idaho. If that isn't the coolest thing I've heard all day, like if that isn't the most Idaho thing, the best name from the best place, like I need that injected in my veins. What I can tell you is that tomorrow we will be hanging out. We're gonna do a live stream, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We will be straight with you with all of the chaos. We'll have some of the best experts from around the country, huge name coaches that you see every Saturday going to hang out with us. We'll get you the perspective from the inside, from the outside with expertise like Adam's going to give you. Make sure you hang out with us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.